The comments in this channel are a very interesting source of information. I learn as much from this channel as the people who view my videos do. A very fascinating strand within that has been a series of dialogues around Stephen Miller. A number of people have been asking for videos about Stephen Miller to understand him better because he's so central to the administration and he's so unique in the way he presents himself and conducts his influence within the administration. In the course of this discourse, some people have come forward and mentioned that they actually knew Stephen Miller in his childhood. They were at the same school as him, and so started to put some comments in about what they remember about him during the time that they knew him in his childhood. So I took the opportunity actually to start to speak to these folk, and had a very interesting dialogue recently in which I learned a lot about Stephen Miller from these people who knew him in his childhood. And it's very interesting to learn the inside story of what Stephen Miller was really like and where his views and his disposition actually came from. I'm going to outline that and what I learnt from those interviews in this video. So Stephen Miller went to Santa Monica High School from sort of 1999 into the early 2000s. And what's really interesting is that this is a very liberal part of the world. And the other students, his fellow peers in the school, were very, very liberal. So anybody with right-wing views would stand out like a sore thumb. Now, around the time that he went to this school, his family also had to downsize because his father experienced some kind of business failure. There was some problem in his working life that led them to have a significantly reduced income. So they had to change and move into a different neighborhood. That is a neighborhood in which the people who knew him say that there was probably quite a significant Latino population that didn't exist where he used to live. And so he got exposed for the first time to sort of a multicultural area. And it's quite possible that he started to feel resentment towards these other people in his neighborhood who could now lead the same lifestyle as he did. Whereas previously he lived in a relatively white neighborhood and ethnic minorities were seen to live in poorer neighborhoods and not live at the same standards. But now he had come down to their standards and he experienced a lot of resentment around having to have as peers, as people on an equal level in society, people from Latino and other ethnic backgrounds. And so this clearly created some resentment in him. Now, the other factor about him is that there was nothing actually particularly remarkable about him. He wasn't particularly attractive to other girls there. Nobody really noticed him. There wasn't anything special about him, so he didn't really stand out. But then he started to find a way to get people's attention. It seems that getting attention was really key to him because he started to express some views that, while objectionable and abhorrent to many people in his school, got him their attention. Here's an example.
Am I the only one who is sick and tired of being told to pick up my trash? And we have plenty of janitors who are paid to do it for us.
Now, what's interesting here is that the people from his school tell me that not a single person in the school shared those views. Now, of course, they're pretty abhorrent anyway, but you might have thought that somebody who took the trouble to express such outlandish views like this was also speaking to a constituency. There's also some people who are on his side. He was coming from a group. But actually, what I've learned is that he wasn't. There was nobody else who agreed with him there at all. So all he was doing was raising the shackles of everybody around him. And that got him one thing which he'd never had before, which was universal attention. Where he had been anonymous, where he had been unnoticed, where he had gone completely unheard by his fellow students, suddenly he was heard and noticed by all of them. And this made him rather excited. He quite liked the idea of being paid attention to. See, he felt anonymous before that. He was in a neighborhood in which he's anonymous. In fact, a neighborhood surrounded by people of different colors, where he really felt that he didn't want to be anonymous. He felt that he should be superior to them as he was before. And so he found a way to stand out now in school by expressing views like this. What then happened is that word got around about this guy with sort of pretty extreme views in his school. And according to the people in his school, those weren't actually his views. They were the things that he could say to gain attention. But then a right-wing national radio show noticed him and brought him on. At the age of 14, he was asked to come on and sort of give an interview where they spoke to him and about him in this interview in really glowing terms. They obviously agreed with what he was saying, and he went down very well. And this got him sort of national level attention. It was absolutely intoxicating to this young man who'd been just part of the furniture, who faded into the background all this time. But now, on a national level, he was actually being paid attention to, and he loved it. And that is what many people see as a seminal moment, a turning point in his life, because his whole demeanour, they say, started to change at that point. When he started to get national level attention, then he carried himself with a different level of confidence, with arrogance. Previously he had backed down very quickly when people challenged him or confronted him, but he felt a lot more sort of capable and superior because of that attention he got from a syndicated national radio show. So that sort of set him off on his trajectory of becoming who he is right now. And what these people who knew him say very clearly is that the thing about Stephen Miller is that he doesn't believe any of this stuff. He's only doing it for attention, the attention that he severely lacked before he actually started to express these things. And so he then used that ploy to keep standing out, to keep raising his head above other people, which he felt was his due. That fall from grace that his family had was something he was almost making up for. He felt some resentment at this fall from the sort of more comfortable, wealthier position to one of less, and he wanted to sort of climb back out of it again and show people that he really was superior and not just somebody who deserved to be alongside other people of different colours and races. And so this was the way he could do it, not by doing something that most people do, which is maybe getting a good job, getting serious qualifications, becoming either a high-standing professional or a business person or making money. None of those things. He found a shortcut, which was saying objectionable things, really riling people up, and becoming infamous for his views and his politics. And that has become his whole shtick. That's the word that the people who knew him said to me. That is just basically a shtick. That's how he goes about exposing himself to the world and elevating his own status. And it's worked for him. And here he is, now working in the White House, Deputy Chief of Staff to the President. That's how he got here, though, in almost exactly the same way as the President did, because Trump, as you may have heard me describe in videos before, his whole driving force is a vacuum within which craves attention. And he is just forging whatever views he needs to get the maximum amount of attention at any one time. And that's exactly, it appears, what Stephen Miller is driven by as well. No wonder they're so simpatico, no wonder they're so compatible and work so synergistically together. It's exactly the same for J.D. Vance, similar for people like Elon Musk. And this whole right-wing cabal, basically people who don't believe in anything, really. All they believe in is their own fame, is their own ability to attract and capture and retain other people's attention. And unfortunately, that leads us to very dark places, because somebody who's willing to do anything to gain attention is literally willing to do anything and harm anybody in the process of that pursuit. I hope you like my video. As a psychiatrist who loves politics and economics and philosophy, I love to make videos like this, and you can really help promote this video to other people and get it on your feed more by liking and commenting and subscribing to the video as well. We have a wonderful community of people here who comment and support each other through this very traumatic period of world history that we're going through right now. I also hope you consider becoming a subscriber to the channel and also subscribing to my e-newsletter. There's a link in the description, and that way we can stay in touch outside the channel, so you can keep abreast of all of the content that I'm making on an ongoing basis. The latest of which actually is my latest book called We the People. Very, very proud of this book. It's actually a novel, a fiction book written by myself and the famous award-winning author T.J. McGregor. Together we wrote a book about what the future might look like. Bit of a dystopian novel, but what might happen if autocracy goes to its next stage, AI predicting the potential end of humanity. I actually made a video about that, it really happened. And how things might pan out in this dystopian world, and actually how a band of committed, passionate, progressive people manage to change the trajectory, and not in the way that you think. It's not just by running a candidate and opposing the autocrat, but actually by deepening the democracy that we have and engaging in a real participatory form of democracy that sort of shifts the needle and gets us back to basics and helps us sort of rebuild our democracy. And that's within the context of a really compelling, gripping story, a bunch of fascinating characters, and I assure you, you will not be able to sort of stop turning the page until you get to the end of the book. That's what all the reviewers have said so far. Lots of people love it, and I hope you can get it. You can get it on Amazon, any of the global Amazon bookstores out there. Please do order your copy of We the People. Just put We the People Russell Razak and you'll be able to find it inside Amazon as well. Also, I hope you consider becoming a member of the channel. You can subscribe to a couple of different membership levels. All members of the channel also get some free ebooks that I produce once a month. You can buy those ebooks too from russellsbooks.com. That's russellsbooks.com, and every month I produce a new ebook on that channel, which is really about, these are the non-fiction books I produce with my team, which is really about how to learn about the world around us and the psychologies of the people who govern us, but also how to learn about ourselves, deepen our own self-awareness in a way that helps us navigate this difficult world we're in right now. So those are sort of self-help books that are produced every month, and if you're a member of the channel, you get a sort of 100% discount on those books every month. Otherwise, you can go to russellsbooks.com, as I say, and buy them anytime you like. I really hope you can become a part of this community, as I say. So this sort of supportive community, validating and helping each other, is really worth being a part of, and I hope you can join us as we all join forces to create a better tomorrow together. Thank you.